What would you do if someone you held dear died? Well, for one goddess in Ugarit, the answer was simple. Kill death in reply. You see, the Ba'al Cycle is a fascinating story. The triumphs of Ba'al Hadad, the Storm Lord of the Canaanite pantheon, and eventual chief of all the gods. But equally fascinating is the ridiculousness of his sister Anat, a nature and hunting goddess with a warlike aspect. And while the titular Baal garners lines and lines of text depicting his strength, Anat merely gets a few lines here and there that are absolutely incredible. From slaying the serpent Lotan to wading through the bloody remnants of a warpath against several cities, she was repeatedly adorned with honorifics of battle. But most fascinating, and what I came here to tell you about, was when she butchered Mot. And that brings me back to the point raised a few minutes ago. Mot is the personification of death and the ruler of the underworld. Think of it as Hades and Thanatos being one being instead of two. Mot is attested to as someone that even Baal could not stand against in combat. And at the time, gods could die, or at least be rendered inert by this being called death. Certainly something to do with Canaanite theology, though I don't have enough study into that to have any authority on it beyond that point. Anyway, instead of facing Mot after insulting him by only offering bread and wine as opposed to the flesh that death so regularly craves, Baal flees to Sicily. And after that, the Ugaritic texts are severely damaged. Assumedly, Baal substitutes himself with one of his children or is killed by Mot, as his body is found on the field beneath the light of the sun goddess Shamash, and eventually found by his sister Anat. When the news of Baal's demise spreads, the heavens are filled with mourning. Shamash refuses to shine as she and Anat mourn the death of the great and victorious Baal, Lord of the Sky. Yeah, probably the same guy, or at least the prototype of what he would become, weeps at the loss, and the world turns dark for a time. However, after the funerary feast is held, and the body is moved, Anat carves a warpath into the pits and filth of the underworld which Mot calls home, a city called Mire, where she, and I quote, comes upon Mot, seizing him, splitting him with a blade, winnowing him into a sieve, burning him in a fire, grinding him under a millstone, and throwing what remains in the end over a field for birds to devour. In one swift and bloody attack, she slays death, severing his body and throwing it to the birds to be spread as far as they can carry, tearing him apart as he tore apart her heart and all of heaven's. Now, for comparison's sake, after 7 years, Mot returns, having pulled himself together to get revenge on Baal, who was either revived or returned from hiding. 3,700-year-old broken tablets are fun like that, I suppose. And so, he and Baal fight, and let's say it's far more balanced than what Anat and he did. They attacked each other like fish in a net, but Mot was strong, and Baal was strong. They butted like rams, but Mot was strong, and Baal was strong. They bit like serpents, but Mot was strong, and Baal was strong. They kicked like rabbits, and Mot fell, and Baal fell. In short, even if you can stalemate victorious Baal, keeper of the skies, nothing is more frightening than the rage of a mourning sibling. So yeah, that's the time Anat killed death. At least for a little while. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you're doing well in this new year.